Welcome to Thundersport GB, the final round of 2017. I've been looking forward to this one for some weeks. It's the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Supersport, the crescendo, the final races of the season, and it all comes down to today. Both championships up for grabs in terms of the Golden Era Supersport and the Steelsport as well. Thanks, Steve Day. Chris Helliwell. A little kiss there from Chris, of course, former champion in the class. Well, it's been a pleasure commentating on you, mate. He's on pole position, number 64, with a point to prove, the former champion, but it's all eyes elsewhere. I don't really know where to start, but let's get the lights off first and into turn one. There were 17 points between three riders coming into this weekend. Richard Harrison, Rob Goodall, Luke McRae. After yesterday, Rob Goodall in race one crashed, got tangled up with Harrison. Harrison had nowhere to go. Goodall crashed out. He's broken his leg. He's out of the frame. We send our very best wishes and regards to Rob Goodall, and it means that it is down to two riders, Harrison and Luke McRae. Now Harrison is there, number 4. Luke McRae, look out for him, is number 16. They are the only riders that can win this championship. And coming into today, after whatever happened yesterday, there are 2 points in it, and Luke McRae leads. Luke McRae has a 2-point lead over Richard Harrison for this championship. It is baffling how this has gone this year. Unbelievable, as all of these 600s. What a success this championship has been since it has been introduced. Chris Helliwell starts. He is going pretty well. Have to say, what a turnaround for Andrew Batner as well. Batman is there in second place, number 141 with the orange bib, absolutely on fire. Third in this race there is Richard Harrison. He's where he needs to be, and just behind him then is Ian Lawton. Sid, what a championship this has been.
Oh, you couldn't write this stuff, could you? I mean, what happened yesterday was unbelievable. First race of the day, stopped because of what happened. Poor Rob, I'm the same as you. Bless his heart, get well soon, mate. Harrison had nowhere to go. When it was restarted, obviously Harrison couldn't, he crashed by, couldn't get back, couldn't restart. And then that got stopped, but because it was over 3 laps in, it became a 2-part race. So the race director sent everybody back, said, I'll tell you what, we're going to bring you guys to the grid when you've reshuffled and immersed yourselves. So anyway, when it did come, of course, then Harrison, not having taken part in the first part of race 1, part 2, whatever, it basically couldn't get any points. So you ended up with this situation, as you say, you came into this morning. I mean, Harrison did go out in effectively what was race 2 yesterday, and got a reasonable result. But it all came round to coming into today, and as you say, 2 points lead for McRae. Amazing.
Yeah, it really is astonishing stuff. In this race, of course, we've got a few other names in the mix. There is McRae. He's desperately trying to make up some places here after a terrible start. Number 97 is a rider that he was just going past there, David Williams from Loud. So he's got to try and make up some places. It's way back. I don't know if he's made a bad start or something. He now goes past number 75, Max Wilmot as well. I did see a rider a moment ago going on the grass. Was that him? I've got no idea. Anyway, Chris Helliwell, it is that leads, number 64 from Andrew Batner. Quick word on Batner before we focus our attention on the championship, Sid. He moved over onto the 600. It looked like on the last round it frightened him in the wet a bit over at Alton Park. Well, not so this weekend.
Oh, he's really taken to this bike like a duck to water, or like a bat to the Batmobile. It's like unbelievable. I'm really pleased because I think that if he'd had a bad weekend this weekend, he probably would have chucked this bike away and gone back to the 500s. But he's really done well with it, and good luck to him.
Right, so this is really important for the championship. Elsewhere in the steel frame, a quick word on that. John Wright came into this weekend with a slender lead over Dave Langley. We're on board here with Brad Davey, who himself just been overtaken there by Luke McRae, who's flying through the pack. Brad Davey could be in with a shout of finishing 3rd in the steel frame. It's going on everywhere. The maths, the abacus here in the commentary box. I can't work out what is going on. John Wright won both of the steel frame races yesterday. He's in control of that. Dave Langley can still win it here today, but he would need a bit of a mishap to come from John Wright. So, Let's try and focus our attention again then on the main championship, the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Supersport. Here we see Chris Helliwell, race leader, hoping to come back and fight for this championship next year. Then that's Ian Lawton in second place. Richie Harrison is third, in fourth Batner. Now this is good news for Richie Harrison. He's 2 points behind Luke McRae. Luke McRae, as you can probably see, is doing all sorts of work further back. Something monumental must have happened to McRae. There he is, a bit for no, that's actually not him, is it? Is
that his brother?
That's his brother, Oliver McRae.
Yeah.
So what on earth happened to Luke? Did he start from the back of the grid? I don't understand why he's so far back, but he is going to really lose out on some big points here with Richard Harrison. As it stands, here he is, number 4, in podium contention. 2 races here today, normal points on offer, 25 for the win, 20 for second. There is Oliver McRae, just behind Rob Morby, and there is Luke. He's now found his way up towards John Wright. There is John Wright, 114, leader of the steel frame. Luke McRae has really got the hammer down here. He's the championship leader. In terms of Harrison and McRae side by side, it couldn't really be nice and more neatly poised. Both of them have got 18 podiums this year coming into this race.
Wow.
The difference being, Harrison has won 7 races, McRae has only won 1, but there's been 6 non-scores from Richie Harrison and only 3 for McRae. So it just goes to show you that the consistency pays off as he goes up the inside now of Oliver McRae. He's like a man on a mission here. This is really, really precious for Luke McRae. Every position he makes up.
The McRae twins are together.
They're there and they are having a good old go at it. This is your race leader then, Chris Helliwell. Looks like he's got sort of a slightly more modern front fairing on his R6, although it is still obviously the older machine.
Yeah, that's the R6 Cup. They sent the wrong fairing, Steve, this weekend. The bike and he's only just got that bike, but the fairings were sent. It's in the old Yam colours, but they sent the wrong fairing. So as it wasn't going to affect, points for, like he wasn't in the mix as such. It wasn't too much of a problem, really, but...
Well, there he is, leading the race by a mammoth distance. Here's Ian Lawton, number 12 in second, Richie Harrison in third. So, as it stands, number 4 there, he would take 16 points for staying in third place. They are being shadowed now by Batner, who's in fourth. And then it's further back, Luke McRae has now got himself up into 5th. There he is, number 16, ahead of Rob Morby and Oliver McRae. Luke McRae's still got a chunk missing off the front of his fairing, like a jigsaw piece missing. I don't really understand what that's all about. But either way, he's got himself now into 5th. He would lose his championship lead by staying in 5th. He's 2 points clear of Harrison, based on the fact that, of course, Harrison is at the moment in 3rd, ahead of Batner. Really, really tough to try and keep check on all of this. But across the line there is your race leader. No one can deny that.
Well, one thing's for sure, if they both stay upright, this is going to be tasty going into the final race of the year, isn't it?
Well, you just got to pray they both stay upright, Sid, because it's what we all want, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
This is the 33rd race of the year, and we are talking like point. And this changes things again. Batner has gone past Richie Harrison. Harrison, as it stands, is off the podium. Now,
what did Batner have for breakfast?
Well, Rob Morby's fighting back against McRae here as well.
Oh, goodness.
There is John Wright. He's got no sign at the moment of Langley, so if John Wright stays where he is, he will be crowned the steel frame champion, and at least that's one sorted before we go into the finale.
Don't forget, he got some crucial points.
Yes,
Old
absolutely
Spark,
right.
Riding round with a broken arm, very, very slowly, but he clinched the points because there wasn't that many steel frames in that particular race. And so he knew that if he cruised round and actually got a finish, he would get some crucial points. Very, very clever, Steve.
Absolutely, they all count. So here was your race leader. So this is quite a curious situation for Richie Harrison to be in. There's a championship at stake. The last lap flag is out, and here come the guys battling for 3rd, Batner and Harrison. Now, Harrison will know. He'll have worked out. The guys ahead of him, they're not Luke McRae. Does he push the boat out and try and fight Batner with the risk involved of maybe going down and it really going peak-tong? There he is. Batner's in 3rd, number 141. Richie Harrison in 4th. Or does he just say at the moment, whatever happens here, I am going into the final race of the season?
You've got to bear in mind in the mix that it'll still be fresh in his mind the crash from yesterday.
Yes.
So he'll know what it's like to crash, and and potentially put yourself out of contention.
Your race leader is here, just putting a few laps on a number of riders. Chris Helliwell, he's been completely in a world of his own here. He has been so fast in this race, and bearing in mind, it's a bit damp out there as well. He's only a couple of tenths off the lap record. The lap record, might as well throw that away. That's going to go if it hasn't already yesterday. Anyway, this is McRae, and McRae's behind Rob Morby. So as it stands, a few rain spots there as well. This could be crucial, this last lap, to decide what sort of points total we go into tomorrow with. Chris Helliwell is going to take the win. There's no doubt about that. 25 points goes his way. Done and dusted. The old champion is back to winning ways. Second place is going to go to Ian Lawton. Who's going to get third? We wait. There is Andrew Batner, there is Richard Harrison, and it is going to be Batner who gets third. Harrison fourth, and Luke McRae did Morby on the final lap. That means we're locked on points going into race 2. Despite him being 43 seconds down, it couldn't be better, could it? Helliwell the winner there then, from Lawton, and Batner in the Golden Era Supersport. And congratulations to John Wright. That steel frame win has nailed the championship for 2017. Ahead there of David Langley and Brad Davey. Let's see how the Golden Era Supersport then lines up in a second. It's coming up next.
Are you ready? Showtime. More bang for your buck.
Here we go, the last race of 2017. 34th race of 2017. It's time to go. Chris Helliwell, 64. He there, thanks to you as well, Chris. Thanks to you as well. I'm afraid we have got to concentrate on another championship here. That's really nice.
Steve's in tears here, Chris.
It's really pleasant of Chris to say that. And I've really enjoyed commentating, obviously, on him and many others throughout the years. There are the two guys, though, we've got to focus on here, Sid. Number 4, Richard Harrison. Number 16, Luke McRae. And after 33 races, they are locked on points.
It doesn't seem possible.
Doesn't get any better than that, folks. The lights go out, the sun is shining. It's towards the end of the day. It's dry. There's a few damp patches, but we are go.
They're together, Steve, look.
Look at them there. You can see Batner and Lawton, of course, have a big part to play in this as well after being on the podium in race 1. And Luke McRae has got off to a much better start this time. I don't know what happened in race 1, but it's history. It doesn't matter. It's 4 versus 16. 16 versus 4. Whoever finishes this race ahead of each other will be crowned champion for 2017. It doesn't get more simple than that, and it's just the way I like it.
The sun is shining, the shadows are long, and I tell you what, this is almost the last race. Well, in fact, it is the last race of Thundersport GB for 2017. So, I mean, what better way is there to celebrate Thundersport GB's 10th year than a race like this?
Absolutely true that. Again, we send our wishes to Rob Goodall, who's broken his leg. He has, if it's any consolation at all, he has at least stayed inside the top 3 of the championship. He will end this year in 3rd overall. By the way, in the steel frame, that's still open for 3rd place in the championship going into this final race also, between Nick Turner and Brad Davey. There's only 12 points between those two, but let's focus for now on this one. This is the big one. This is the championship decider, and Luke McRae is out of the traps fast. Richie Harrison there is in 4th place. He knows the score. They both know the score. 1 race to go. At least they haven't got to work out their maths, Sid.
Yeah, very easy. Who finishes first out of either of them is the champion. That's simple.
Chris Helliwell then it is that leads in the early stages here. We've also got Ian Lawton in the mix. It could have a big part to play in where this championship goes. In truth, what do we want? No offence, we want Harrison versus McRae to be lining up against each other. Doesn't matter where they are in the field, we just want to see those two having a proper ding-dong for this. There is Sam Nicholson a bit further back. Brilliant championship this has been, and a brilliant field full of super sport and steel frames. I'm sure it's only going to grow going into 2019, and if anybody's tuned into this season, well, I tell you, it has been something incredible.
Yeah,
we have had 5 riders that at some point could have fought for this championship. Helliwell included at the start of the year, coming in as the defending champion and then going off. Adam Darnell, remember, don't forget, he was leading it for a while as well.
If you want to race a good-looking bike, They're still brilliant bikes, these are. These and the steel frames, on a reasonable budget. Look no further. Go and dig those R6s out, those old steel frame CBRs, or Ducati 748. Brad Davies done very well on one of them, hasn't he? Absolutely brilliant class, this.
Here you see the number 4 then, Richard Harrison. Luke McRae has been dropped down to 3rd place. It's almost like it's written in the stars that these two are going to go into scrap in a minute, and Richard Harrison's ears are pricked up because he's seen what's happened in front of him. It is Chris Helliwell that leads from Ian Lawton. In 3rd then Luke McRae. In 4th Richie Harrison. Which one of these guys will be crowned champion at the end of this race? You can almost see in Richie's eyes, Sid. He's seen Luke McRae's right ahead of him, and it's almost worth a couple of tenths to him. He's reeling him in. Here they go then, the 2 Yamaha riders. 18 podiums each this season. They go up towards Coppice Corner, and Harrison on this lap has closed that gap down. And if Luke Harrison didn't know the whereabouts of Richard Harrison, sorry, if Luke McRae didn't know the whereabouts of Richie Harrison, he will do in a moment.
I can understand you getting mixed up. They're mixed up. Look, they're together.
Here we go into the back straight, a bit early on the brakes, and Richie Harrison, is he going to have a look up the inside? No, not quite. Through Roberts' chicane, onto the home straight we go again.
They both want this so badly, Steve, I can't tell you.
Here is Dave Langley, a bit further back. He's going to finish the steel frame competition in 3rd overall. He's just up ahead there of Rob Vickerman. But here we go then.
Dave Langley said to me yesterday, he said, Sid, he said, I knew I kept coming 2nd and everything, but he said, I genuinely believe, I've seen it before in Sportsman Elite 600, if I maintain consistency, I genuinely thought I could be champion. He said, what I didn't take into consideration is how good and how consistent John Wright is.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he's going to have another pop at it next year.
Yeah.
John Wright has been brilliant. Dave Langley has been brilliant. 2 great guys. Here we go then. McRae and Harrison. They're battling for 3rd and 4th on circuit, but it doesn't matter where they're battling. Whoever wins this fight wins the championship. And up the inside goes Richard Harrison into Coppice Corner. Brilliant stuff there from Harrison. It's Helliwell that leads the race from Lawton. They're both there on the straight, but here they are now side by side. McRae will have seen who it is. He pops out of the slipstream and he goes past him again on the brakes into Robert Chicane. Surely there's a bit of a smile on the face here, but look at those mean eyes of Richie Harrison's. In 4, they go on to the start-finish straight, and this is on like Donkey Kong.
Steve, Chris Helliwell has knocked half a second off the lap record. Can you believe it?
Brilliant pace, absolutely brilliant pace that's being set here. Just incredible. The final race of 2017 is a humdinger. Helliwell it is that leads, and no one's really looking like they're going to catch him. Ian Lawton in 2nd here is having a good go, but this is what we want to see. There is McRae, there is Harrison.
But that previous lap, also Harrison equalled the lap record. So, you know, I mean, these guys are not messing about, I'm telling you.
The sun setting on this circuit here at Donington Park and the sun setting on this year's championship. Neither man have ever won a championship at Thundersport, and this is their moment right now. There we see them side by side almost. Into the slipstream comes Richie Harrison this time. Down the back straight. Will he be the last of the late breakers? He's not on this occasion. He's decided against it. He'll carry a bit of corner speed though and try for the cutback on the start finish straight once more. Luke McRae, as it stands, would be your champion if things stay like this. I should just point out that, heaven forbid, these two were to wipe each other out. Of course they would be locked on points, but Harrison would win by virtue of countback of victories over the season. We have to just point that out right now, but because they are, of course, going at each other, and this is just as you want it. 2 heavyweight boxers in a ring, punching the hell out of each other.
Well, Ian Lawton, if he had ring mirrors, I mean, he'd love to see this unfolding, wouldn't he?
I'm sure everyone would. I'm pretty sure that even Helliwell would. This is a battle going on further back at the steel frame riders. John Wright still leads that one. Incidentally, Brad Davey is 2nd place of the steel frames. It could get very close indeed for finishing 3rd. Here we go then, there's a bit of back marking work. Oh, this is getting a bit messy. Richie Harrison had to go wide there into McLean's. Then up in towards Coppice as well. That's worked out better for McRae.
No need for nail files. My nails are down at the quicks already. I can't believe it. It's absolutely unbelievable racing this is. And when I see some traffic coming up for them, I'm like absolutely crapping myself.
Here is Luke McRae then. On this lap, he's just built up a good 3 or 4 tenths over Richie Harrison. Richie, you're going to have a few laps of your life here. Across the line, we are getting to the closing stages, but no sign of the last lap flag yet. There's Oliver McRae, Luke's brother. Unfortunately, he's not been able to play wingman here today. 315 is Ashley Thompson, and up ahead of these guys is, of course, Rob Morby.
There's some great battles further down the field as it happens, you know. I mean, but I know we want to see the, you know, where it's going on at the front. But obviously, John Wright is in there with the steel frame amongst a lot of other Supersport bikes.
Can Richie Harrison here close this gap down? They are 3rd and 4th on circuit. Harrison has got to try and find something here in the closing stages. It's looking bad at the moment for him, I'm afraid.
He's pulled out a bit of a gap there, hasn't he?
It's not looking great, is it? It's not looking perfect for him right at this moment in time. Is there anything he can do about it? There's some dark clouds coming as well. There is Chris Helliwell. He's absolutely roared away from the pack here. It's completely shattered the lap record. Helliwell is going to win this one.
He's very happy, is Chris, on board these R65 EBs. He just loves them. He loves the way they handle. Just feels it's like an armchair for him.
Across the line we go then. It's a good lap that from Richie Harrison. In fact, it was his best lap of the race. He's just about clinging on to this. There's some more traffic up ahead, but he needs to find another tenth or two. Will Luke McRae lose a bit there? It looked like Harrison had just taken another tenth or two off him. Batner's not been quite so strong in this race, number 141. There he is up ahead of Rob Morby. They've got number 96 coming up to lap. There is Ian Evans, one of our regular British Army riders, having some fun. But what's going on out front? That's the question. Has Harrison given himself any sort of lifeline coming into the last couple of laps here of the 2017 season? There is Morby up ahead of Oliver McRae and Ashley Thompson. Still Helliwell that leads this race from Ian Lawton. Here is Helliwell. Number 64 breaking into the Roberts chicane. And here we see the two, and Richie Harrison has found some time. He's closed right onto the tail now of Luke McRae. Here we go then, through the chicane, onto the start-finish straight, and he's got some decent drive there as well as Harrison. Across the line we go, and the last lap flag is out. It's now or never.
We go.
Now then, he's into the slipstream as Richie Harrison. He'll have a couple of opportunities, but he won't do it there. Tight line though from McRae. That gives Harrison the chance to go around the outside into Redgate corner. Brilliant stuff from Richie Harrison. This is the final lap of the season, and Harrison has got it all. He's put it all on the line. Superb stuff. Luke McRae, number 16, has he got an answer? The only thing I will say is McRae has been mustered on the brakes onto the back straight. But what a lap this is from Richie Harrison. There's very, very few times.
He's hanging it all out there, Steve.
I've never seen too many people get an outside move pulled off around Redgate corner. Here we go then. Up towards McLean's corner. At the moment it's advantage Harrison. He would be crowned champion. Up towards Coppice we go, and this has got to be a really, really solid corner from McRae. If he's got any chance of getting into the slipstream, he doesn't look like he's close enough. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. In the meantime, Sparklight Racing Yamaha rider Chris Helliwell, he's absolutely nailed this. He's got it done. Chris Helliwell is the race winner, but what happens behind? That's what we want to know. How does this one end? Oh, it's a defensive line from Harrison. McRae's trying to find a way through. He's not close enough, surely. They tip it left. Oh, it's a bit of a moment there for Harrison on the power. They're side by side, and McRae on the line has pinched the 2017 title.
0.2 of a second, the whole championship on 0.2 of a second.
Unbelievable. What on earth happened there at the end? Richie Harrison looked like he'd had a bit of a moment or something coming out of that final left-right chicane. But either way, what a rush. 0.2 of a second, or just under pretty much, sort out the 2017 championship. Chris Helliwell's the race winner for Ian Lawton. Luke McRae picks up his 19th podium, and what a difference that makes, because the man nearest to us here is the champion of 2017. In the steel frame, John Wright wins from Brad Davey and David Langley, and spare a thought for Brad Davey, who's lost out on third overall by a single point because of that. McRae's champion then, well, I've lost my breath, 3 points in it. 2/10 for the championship. Goodall unfortunately had to sit back and watch that one from home. In the Steelsport, it was John Wright in the end that nailed it. He won ahead of David Langley. And Nick Turner, by a point, takes third ahead of Brad Davey. What a championship it has been in 2017. You are not going to want to miss 2018. We'll see you then.